Edinburgh is a city steeped in stories, from fascinating folklore to ancient myth. Just take a walk around the city and you'll find an abundance of unicorns adorning the architecture. You'll not be short of ghost stories either. And in this quiet graveyard, you'll discover the inspiration for Lord Voldemort and Professor McGonagall. There's the monument to the heartwarming story of Greyfriars Bobby, who stood guard at his owner's grave for 14 years after his death, or the lone piper who haunts the Royal Mile. And our very own volcano has links to the dragons and the knights of King Arthur. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Come find the magic. Edinburgh is the UK's greenest city. Not that we want to make everyone green with envy. There's a space here for everyone, from high escapes to cosy glens, from secret gardens to old railway paths. There's beaches to comb and parks to play in, hills to climb and adventures to begin. Discover panoramic city views as you climb Edinburgh's extinct volcano. Edinburgh's a city for walkers, hikers, bikers, runners, thinkers, ramblers. Discover a new path today. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Edinburgh is a city shaped by water. You can follow the waters from the Pentland Hills right through the city to the Firth of Forth. There's beaches and bridges and boats to see. There's stories to find at the Roman settlement and the old bunker on Cramond Island. Just follow the water and you'll find a story. Edinburgh, the story never ends.
Welcome everyone to the Royal Commonwealth Pool here in the heart of Edinburgh. We are here for session 3 of this Edinburgh International Meet 2023 and it's finals time. So the day has been building up to this finals session. I'm Paul Noble, be taking you through the action tonight. I'm joined by Jack Thorpe again. We did this last year, Jack. Back again for another final session at the Edinburgh International. You're now, of course, former Scottish record holder, happily retired.
Indeed, it's a pleasure to be back. Nice to keep my foot in the water, so to speak, at arm's length, of course. Coming back and commentating, it's great, and it's looking like an excellent schedule of finals tonight.
It certainly is. A lot of big names have taken part in the qualifying heats this morning. Olympic champions, Commonwealth Games medalists. It's really, really tough to pick a top event for tonight because it's going to be so busy.
Yeah, and even the B finals at this event are really jam-packed, really high quality A finals potential at other events in the B group. So it just shows the depth that this event has brought forward, and yeah, some really good events to come. Looking forward to 200 freestyle in particular for the men and 100 breaststroke near the end of the session.
Yeah, well, there's a schedule that we've got for you tonight. The men's 1500 freestyle kicks us off, and Northern Ireland's very first male medalist at the Commonwealth Games in the pool takes part in that 1500. Daniel Whiffen, one to watch early on. Women's 100 backstroke, that's absolutely stacked, isn't it, that final?
Oh, unbelievably stacked field there. I mean, looking at the depth and breadth, you've got Olympic champions, European champions, an unbelievable experience across that whole field.
And Kylie Mass, of course, the Canadian, taking part in this backstroke final as well, alongside Scotland's own Kathleen Dawson, the Olympic gold medalist in the relay.
Yeah, it's great to see her back, coming back from injury, coming back from surgery, so it's really nice to see her getting back into the mix of things with trials a month away for the World Championships.
Yeah, big target events for the swimmers to come. Men's 100 back follows, the 200 butterfly for women, the 200 freestyle, the Olympic gold and silver medalists go side by side. Well, they're not side by side actually, they're in the water, but Duncan Scott qualified in the outside lane. Tom Dean looked really good in qualifying. Duncan Scott just scraped in. Yeah,
potentially a little bit too strategic there in the morning potentially, but again, we don't know where people are in their training schedules ahead of the British champs, but lots of other events to come. Skins as well.
Skins as well for the 50 butterfly and the 50 freestyle. So that is going to be very interesting. Slightly new format. We'll cover that when we come to the skins events, those 50 metres events. Always exciting. I like the skins. I do like the skins.
They are absolutely great. They're really entertaining to watch. Brutal to take part in, can speak from experience, but yeah, it's nice to kind of have that right in the middle of the session, break things up a bit.
The distance event for the women, the 400 freestyle. Some good young prospects in that 400 freestyle there. And we complete the session. 200 breaststroke, James Wilby goes in that one. 100 breaststroke for women would be a cracker, and 200 IM as well. Duncan Scott back in again, 200 IM.
Some great events, really a lot to look forward to.
So here is the lineup for the 1500 metres freestyle. It's the fastest heat, so we haven't seen these swimmers in qualification this morning. The fastest heat is coming out. Dennis O'Brien from Limerick in 1. Michael Flynn, City of Glasgow in 2. Nathan Whiffen, first of the 2 Whiffen twins, and there is the favourite, Daniel Whiffen. Going in lane number 4, Toby Robinson, Commonwealth Games swimmer from Loughborough University, goes out in lane number 5. Yob Romano from Israel in 6. Joseph Kingsland, Nova Centurion in 7. Cameron Travis, the University of Aberdeen performance squad. Cameron Travis completing the lineup. The lights are dimmed for these finals. It's a good atmosphere in here. I like the Commonwealth pool actually. It's kind of got quite a low roof. It keeps the kind of noise in.
Yeah, they do a really good job of the atmosphere, the lighting. It's a really professional show they put on. It really just adds to the whole experience.
So the lights come up for this first race of this evening's session. And Daniel Whiffen it's been an absolute revelation in the last couple of years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. I mean, even recently, British universities and There's a competition in Luxembourg. He's been on very good form. Commonwealth Games again, excellent swims across the board. He'll be eyeing up the world champs this year, I think. Again, putting in a good show.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be one to watch for the future. He's really been pushing on that 1500 record. He's the Irish record holder. Set that record back in the Commonwealth Games last year when he became the first Northern Irish man to win a Commonwealth Games medal in the pool. Excellent performance for that. And he could have been the first ever, I think, but Bethany Firth just beat him to it around about half an hour before that in the same night.
Yeah, well, that in itself just shows the calibre that the Northern Irish are coming through with now, but that's us off and away. Easing into the race, of course, there's plenty still to come in the 1500, but those first few lengths, you know, keeping the nerves in place, not trying to get too excited, just get into your rhythm, get into your stroke, think about your tactics, and just let those first couple of 100 metres tick along.
So it looks like Daniel Whiffen. I'm going to have to say Daniel Whiffen now. Can't resort to the surnames because he's twin brothers in there as well, Nathan Whiffen.
Oh, and we could have a pretty special race here if they can both manage to get on the podium. That would be great. But I think Toby Robinson could be potentially breaking up the party a bit here. Again, really good experience, more open water swimmer, but he does come down to the 1500 in the pool. Again, an excellent technique, and I think a 1500 compared to what he does in the open water is more of a sprint.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely brutal. The open water events, 5k, 10k, 25k was absolutely incredible. I was at the competition at the European Champs when they were held in Glasgow at Loch Lomond. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and that temperature as well. My goodness, yeah, that's just beyond. I think I can't even imagine. I think 500 metres relay sprint is the only open water I've ever done, and that was back when I was 16, a charity event. So, yeah, I think I was.
Which wasn't yesterday.
No, it wasn't.
What you're trying to say?
It wasn't. Thank you for that.
Well, look at Daniel Whiffen. He's gone out really fast here. We're only coming up to the 200 mark, and he's already got clear water between himself and the rest of the field. Toby Robinson in second. I wonder if the two Whiffen brothers have got together. I wonder if there's kind of tactics here. What do you think?
I think Nathan will know what Daniel will be doing in the kind of split strategy. But again, Nathan just really needs to stick to his own race here. That being said, he's just dipped under the 31s there into 30 points. Daniel's still holding that low 30 point there. Again, it's really solid splitting in and around the 15-minute marker at the moment, if you project that out. But it's, they're all looking quite comfortable, but Daniel in particular looking very comfortable, very relaxed. The feet barely doing anything, just kind of supporting that upper body. Long stroke, breathing to each side every two, keeping the air going in, looking very comfortable.
Yeah, he certainly does. And you just see on your screen there the splits for the previous 50. So you see Daniel Whiffen 30.56, 0.2 of a second ahead of Toby Robinson, who's about half a second ahead of Nathan Whiffen. So the fastest splits means that he's pulling away.
Yes,
basically.
Yes, exactly. And if again he can hold in those low 30s, potentially even into the 29s at one point, see what pace he's on. He could be on for a pretty special swim. But again, just a real stellar performance so far. But field's starting to split off a little bit here. Again, that sort of classic triangle formation you see in the pool quite often with the middle two lanes there, the yellow lanes always representing the fastest qualifiers or the fastest seeded entries in this case, as these group of athletes have not swam today yet in the racing format. So yeah, I think blowing away the cobwebs for some of them.
Yeah, and just a reminder, if you're watching on the screen, it's lane 1's going to be closest to us, lane 8 right at the top of the screen, and those two yellow middle lanes, lane 4 the bottom of the two middle lanes, lane 5 the top, that's the centre of the pool. I'm just going to pass those broad red markers, that's the halfway point in this 50-metre length. As he comes down to the 400 mark, it's going to be just around about 4-minute mark. Jack, and he's pretty comfortable. He's just holding almost 1 minute, just 1 minute 0.7, I think that was.
Yeah, I mean it's very impressive.
In fact,
so
sorry,
far.
59.7.
Yeah, very impressive so far, just holding in and around that 30 point. It's a real skill to hold that pacing together. I think a lot of people, when you go running, you can maybe experience not knowing, how to really get a handle on your pacing, but to be within a few tenths of a second each 50 is very impressive.
And he's breathing to the right there, taking a lot of oxygen in.
Yeah, well, I think you'll see in the 1500 in particular, the athletes tend to breathe to both sides. Perfect example there, Daniel. He was breathing
right on cue.
Every two to the left for 3 or 4 cycles, and now it's to the right for looks like 5 or 6 cycles there. And by a cycle, I mean going through both left and arm strokes, both left and right arm strokes there. And again, that's quite a tactical thing to be able to do. In this situation currently, Daniel won't need that, but you never know if Toby starts to close the gap a little bit. But it is kind of holding form so far. The 1, 2, 3, 4 is very clear at the moment, but potentially up in lane 6 there, you have Romano of Israel could challenge for the 3rd spot. I think that will be Nathan's biggest competition towards the end, but right now 1 and 2 looking very definitive at this stage.
Yeah, certainly getting well spread out here. That's 1/3 of the race gone. We're at 5:50 now for Daniel Whiffen. And Ireland with a big representative here. They do like this meet. They do support this meet in big numbers. There's a couple of Irish teams here from the National Centre in Limerick. There's also a squad which is called like the Irish squad, I suppose. So some of the various squads from Ireland like to come over and test themselves against the best swimmers appearing here at the Edinburgh International. What a field we've got this year. I mean, we alluded to it in the introduction to this session, but my goodness, I was going to try and count up the number of Olympic medals we had on show tonight.
Oh,
well into double figures.
Yeah,
even the 200 freestyle even would bring us into double figures, because I think Duncan Scott's got 6, James Guy's got 5, Tom Dean's got 2. That's only one race.
Yeah, and then the women's 100 backstroke again, an absolute handful in there. It's really quite incredible, I think, the depth here, and it just shows that the attraction of this event. It's that critical time of year for a lot of the countries with their trials events, with the World Championships coming up in the summer in a few months' time. So I think a lot of the nations, the teams, the individuals will be using this as a kind of final hit out, as we say, to kind of really refine your race processes, your race plan before that rest and taper period, before really focusing in the trials. Daniel Whiffen there taking a little bit of a drop, 29.9. It was actually 2 lengths prior, he was 29.9 as well. So it's nice to see him pushing on a little bit here. Still potentially within shout of that sub 15-minute marker, but he's a little bit over. I think holding an average of 60.1s there, 60.2 I think across the board for the first 700s. It's still looking good and actually pulling away from Toby.
Yeah, well, just on the 30-second mark there, and that's the halfway point. 7:31, so as you said, Jack, pretty much just about on that 15-minute mark. Irish record that he holds is 14:51.79. He set that when he won that silver medal in the Commonwealth Games. So
yeah, what a place to do it. What a time to do it.
Absolutely. So a great head-on shot as well there for Daniel Whiffen there, as he just came down to that previous 100. He's gone at 8:01.39, just over the 1 minute mark, 1 minute point 1 for that last 100. Robinson pretty clear in second. You see him splitting there, 31.02. Third place, it looks like Nathan Whiffen. Oh, no, in fact, Romano has gone past Nathan Whiffen, I think, only just as we have gone past that halfway point.
Yeah, he has put a bit more impetus there, Romano, in the last 200-300 metres. I did think he was closing a little bit on Nathan, and yeah, he has just moved a bit ahead. It's not all said and done, still plenty to come, and Nathan could kick in a gear, but Romano's looking strong there for that 3rd place spot. Toby again, just kind of on his own there. Both the top 2 here really kind of swimming their own race, and such a tough thing to do when you have no one around you, and you really need to stay within your lane, both mentally and of course in the pool, just to make sure you're not getting distracted by anyone else, keep your pacing on point. And again, Daniel Whiffen putting on a great show here, holding those 30-point lows. Again, the legs looking relaxed, good long stroke, really maximising that distance per stroke, so important in the longer events, to take as few strokes per length as you can to kind of stay within it towards the end of the race. Really a war of attrition here in the 1500 metres, much like the marathon you would think, but not quite as arduous.
Not quite, but it's the longest distance that we normally go in the pool in the major events. Still hasn't gone to the legs at all. The legs are just almost dragging, almost just kicking for balance there at the back.
Yeah, just keep the body position and as high as you can within reason. And again, the longer events, you do often see the athletes refer to their arms far more than their legs, just because of that lactic acid build-up, that fatigue that develops if you go to your legs too early. But fully expect to see the legs come into play towards the end of the race, that sprint finish that you often see at the bell. But a little bit to go, 400 metres or so, I think. 450, is it?
Yeah, coming up to the 450, so it's 2/3 gone. That was 1,000 metres there at the bottom there. You just dipped under 30 seconds for that last 50 there. I wonder if he's just ramping up a little, trying to dip under that 15-minute mark. 30.73, well, maybe paid for that little spurt there because he's dropped very slightly. But still pretty much there, Jack. You might see, because the 1500 swimmers tend to have a little bit of a faster last 100, so he's still there or thereabouts for 15 minutes.
Yeah, most definitely, and I think now in the unique situation that Daniel's in, he's actually lapping other people in the race. So again, talking about being within and without your lane, he could actually use that as advantage, use those back lane markers to kind of chase on and maybe help with the pacing a little bit. So there he is, looking towards his left, out towards lane 7. But yeah, it just again shows the calibre of Daniel Whiffen on that international level, that he's overtaking other athletes in the field. But that being said, these athletes have still got their own pace, they're at their own stage. It's just great to see these athletes mixing in with such experience.
And this event, of course, it can be used by countries to qualify for those World Championships. I know the Great Britain team not choosing that. They're going to have the trials event at Sheffield in about a month's time. But other countries can use the times from here to qualify for the World Championships. I just wonder if Daniel Whiffen and the Irish team might have that in their sights as well. Not sure. As he comes down to 1200, yeah, slipping away, 12:05.01. It's going to be tough to get under 15 minutes now, but it's not the end of the world by any means, because this is a world-class performance.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I think it would be unbelievable if he could get so close to that sub-15, considering his best time is only 9 seconds away from that, particularly racing by himself here. So it's again just putting on a great show, really showing the audience how it's done, the rest of the field how to do the 1500.
Toby Robinson as well, still clear in second position. And just keep an eye on his splits as well. He was 12:18 at the 1200 mark, so some 13 seconds or so behind Whiffen. In third position, still Romano, who's still third, Nathan Whiffen in fourth position now. But everything getting a little bit spread out now. I can't really see these positions changing now in the closing stages here with 200 to go, Jack.
Yeah, well, I think the most competitive race was that third and fourth around the 600-700 metre mark, but then, like you said, Romano's kind of taken charge of that point and Nathan slipped away, and again the second and first spot respectively are very clear as it stands. Daniel slipping away slightly on the pacing. There's been a few 31s popping up there. Again, getting further and further away from that crucial 30 point. But again, as we said, there is 30.6, so still not a million miles away. But again, I think he would have too much to do. But I think a solid sub 15:10 potentially is still on the table. Which again, it's just these barriers the athletes think around how to, having that in the back of his head going into his own trials, knowing that he's put in a great performance a month out from the trial period for Ireland.
I hear welcome sound of the bell here as he comes to the 1400 mark. Daniel Whiffen goes over 14:08.07. Another incredibly consistent split there. He's been in the 29s, high 29s, low 30s pretty much the whole way through this 1500.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, just that percentage margin either side is so impressive. 30 point here, 29, 31. We're talking tenths of seconds either way, and it's just that control. It just reflects the hundreds, thousands of hours of training that are put in, and particularly for distance athletes, incredible volume and training that they put in on a week-to-week basis. So, yeah, it's don't envy it in the slightest. Absolutely brutal event.
I did say you were happily retired.
Oh, indeed.
And that was happily retired as a 50 sprint specialist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing like the workload that these 1500, not doing you down or anything, chap.
Oh, different workloads, different workload.
Different, yeah. Here is the champion, the first champion we're going to crown tonight. It's Daniel Whiffen, and he gets in 15:07.93, another world-class time for the Northern Irish swimmer representing Swim Ireland. Well done, Daniel Whiffen. It looks like Toby Robinson is going to come in clear in second position. He will take the silver medal in 15:23.51. It looks like it is going to be Yoav Romano from Israel who's going to come home in the bronze medal position. Here he comes in lane number 6. We're just going to miss it. Here he is, coming into the finish now. Romano in there in 15:44.02. And the other swimmers have got, well, as you said, Whiffen just lapped a couple of swimmers, so we've got a little bit of a distance to go for some of the swimmers in the outside lanes. But there's Nathan Whiffen. Started well there, just dipped under the 16-minute mark, 15:59 for Nathan Whiffen. He had a good start to that, but fell off the pace as we went through that 1500.
Yeah, it was a gutsy swim there from Nathan at the start, and fair play to him, putting himself out there, but again, there's nowhere to hide on a 1500, unfortunately. But still good. It's psychologically nice to dip under that 16-minute mark. I think we've got the final athletes coming in now, and
yeah, pretty close contest. This is the best contest of the whole race, this one, and it is won by Dennis O'Brien in lane number 1, and Joseph Kingsland just getting pipped there by a second or so. But there is the confirmed result. Daniel Whiffen takes it 15:07.93 ahead of Toby Robinson and ahead of Yoav Romano. That is the result of your very first race tonight. That was the fastest heat of the 1500 freestyle. Nice way to start, Jack.
Yeah, it's always nice to kind of ease you in and get the distance athletes. It kind of sets the scene and the tone, and most of the other events are much shorter, come thick and fast. So here we are, the women's junior final, the 100 backstroke.
For each of the events, we will have a junior final, followed by a B final, then followed by the A final. So for this junior final, we've got Catherine Renfrew from Perth City in lane 1, closest to us. Holly Marshall from Repton in 2. Mathilde Flickstein from Israel in 3. Falcatin from Hovenstatens in 4. Rose Gubbins from Nova Centurion in 5. Heidi Wren goes to City of Glasgow in 6. Youngest in the field, 15-year-old Kiana Kurtza from Warrender Baths, one of the local swimmers, and Melissa Mainbering from West Lothian in lane number 8. Hovenstatens of Denmark have the fastest qualifier into this junior final, Falcatin. The Hovenstatens team, they've been regular attenders here at the Edinburgh International over the past few years.
Yeah, definitely. There's 5, 6, 7 years there's been teams coming back, and again just demonstrates the consistency this meet produces, both quality and the actual performances put on.
So Falcatin from Hovenstatens in lane number 4. It's all pretty close though, around about a second and a half separating all the field. And the youngster Kiana Kurtza, say 15-year-old. This is the age in the year. So Kiana Kurtza could be 14, or she could be 15 at some point this year. And she goes in lane number 7, right up there with a familiar red cap, one lane from the top of Warrender Baths.
An electric start there from Heidi Wren up in lane 6, City of Glasgow swimmer. Great underwater, really powering down this first length, really taking command of the race in this first 50 metres.
Yeah, she certainly has. 31.17 for Heidi Wren. Falketind in second position here. Rose Gubbins in third. All the top three under the 32-second mark. But it does look like Heidi Wren has just got the edge here. Coming back very strongly is Falketind. 2 lanes down from Heidi Wren, and in between them is Rose Gubbins. But it does look like Heidi Wren with that start. Is she going to hold on? She's tying up now, just in the closing stages, and through comes the Danish swimmer Falketind to just nick this one at the end in 104.71. Great swim from Heidi Wren for second position, but it was the pre-race favourite who took it. Falketind takes that junior final, just ahead of Heidi Wren and Rose Gubbins.
That was a great final. I mean, Heidi Wren was a bit unlucky there. She had a great start, unbelievable start, and really good turn, really maximising those walls. So again, if she can carry that across and the meets to come, that'll pay dividends for that 100 in the long run. But great race there, great race overall.
And here is the B final for this women's 100 backstroke. Roos van Otterdijk from Belgium goes in lane number 1. Holly McGill from Heart of Midlothian in lane 2. Ellen Walsh from Ireland in lane number 3. Ingeborg Leuning from Live Swimming in lane number 4. Honey Osrin in 5 from Loughborough University. Jona Sasha from Edinburgh University in 6. And 2 Dutch swimmers in the outside lane, like Ode Lenferink and Elise Tannis.
Very competitive to make it into the A final. So again, this B final will be very quick. Some very good performances in the morning heats.
Yeah, Ingeborg Leuning, Norwegian swimmer, another of the countries taking part in this Edinburgh International Swim Meet. She goes in lane number 4. Honey Osrin from Loughborough. Who's had a good Bucks Championships a couple of weeks ago, Honey Osrin. She goes in lane 5, so those are the 2 in the centre, but pretty tight at this stage, isn't it?
Yeah, and Honey and Iona Sasha from Edinburgh, again, very good starts there, but it's closing the field a little bit now. I think it's up in lane 7, actually. Nope, not quite. Outside lane. Lane 1, outside Stormer.
Yeah, the Netherlands swimmers just being headed by the Belgian swimmer here in lane number 1, going really well, but in the centre lanes now, Ellen Walsh and Ingeborg Leuning. Ellen Walsh from Ireland had to swim in the afternoon session, just made this B final, and can Ellen Walsh take this B final? I think she might, and she does. 31.38, 31.52 for Leuning in second place, and Rose van Otterdijk in third place. But a great swim. Ireland having a good night so far.
They are indeed, and Ellen backing it up from an afternoon swim. Not a lot of time, not a lot of turnaround. That was impressive, very impressive swim. Here we are, onto the A final.
And the A final coming out for the 100 back. This is one that we wanted to watch, Jack.
Oh, indeed, there's an absolute stellar field here. Really looking forward to this one. You can take your pick, the amount of sub 60 points.
Here's Lottie Hosper, the first of the 2 Netherlands swimmer, coming out in lane 0. Louise Hansen, Swedish swimmer from Loughborough. She'll be a threat here. Kathleen Dawson is the next one out. Kathleen Dawson, the British record holder, Olympic Games gold medalist in the medley relay. Kylie Maas, one of the world stars, Olympic silver medalist in this 100 backstroke in Tokyo. Simona Kumova, what a great heat she had, the Czech swimmer, European Championship finalist. Kira Toussaint, Olympic Games finalist, second of the Netherlands swimmers to come out. Kerry Shanahan, young up-and-coming star from Stirling University. She goes in 7. And Ireland also in with a shout for this one. Maria Godin goes in the outside lane, the Irish swimmer in lane number 8. So what a field, Jack.
Oh, incredible. I mean, Louise Hansen, Kylie Mass really wants to watch. Kira Toussaint, unbelievable underwaters, excellent short course swimmer, but you know, Mass, Hansen potentially, I think it could come from here. But like I said, as anyone's field on the day, how we're feeling, wherever they all are in their training phases, it really could come from any lane here.
Kathleen Dawson, of course, back after injury as well.
Yeah,
great to see her competing, isn't it? Kubova, Czech swimmer in lane number 5, had a great heat swim. Can she follow it up in the final against the huge names on either side of her? Great start there in lane number 6. It's Kira Toussaint, the Netherlands Olympic Games finalist there.
A really good start for Louise Hansen as well, down in lane 2. Excellent in lane 4 as well. Kylie Mass, again, it's the usual suspects coming into the wall. Looking like it's going to be Kylie Mass, closely followed by Louise Hansen.
Now Kylie Mass going out there, 28.96. Hansen in second position. Kylie Mass going to be the favourite now, coming back. She's got out really quickly. Kubova in third. Kathleen Dawson just behind in fourth position. Coming back strongly though in lane number 5. It is Kubova. Mass just holding on here as they come into the final stages of this one. It looks like Kylie Mass and Kubova into the wall together. It is going to be Kylie Mass in there under the 1 minute, 59.78. Simona Kubova in second position, and it looked like it was Katie Shanahan getting up for third.
Very impressive swim there from Katie Shanahan. Great race overall. Wow, powering through. Unbelievably close there for third. That was, oh my goodness, Kathleen Dawson and Katie Shanahan, the British tussle for third place. What a race.
Yeah, 1/100 separating those two, and just 2 100s further back was Toussaint, but Kylie Mass lived up to that pre-race favourite billing at under the 1 minute mark, just shy of the meet record.
It was, and Kubova was absolutely motoring. I think she had an extra metre there, she might have caught her, but that was excellently executed race there for Kylie Mass, just the experience shining through. And we move thick and fast. Next event, the junior final of the 100 backstroke for men.
Yeah, they're not hanging about tonight, are they? Straight into the junior final. And there's the lineup for this junior final. George Whittle in lane 1. You can see him on the left of your screen there. Mike Merda from Israel in 2. Robert Burgess, City of Glasgow in 3. Akan Nahuel Goldin, second of the Israeli swimmers, goes in lane number 4. Stefan Omelchenko, his Israeli teammate, alongside him. Connor Cherrington from Millfield, the green cap. He goes in lane number 6. Dean Fern from Aberdeen Dolphins in 7. And Adam Graham, second Millfield swimmer, right at the top there. All these swimmers qualified for this junior final under the 1 minute mark. 3 Israelis in this one, Jack. The fastest of them was Golden in lane 4.
Yeah, really great contingent there. 16-year-old Ocken in lane 4. That's the Israeli junior representation, but it's very close coming into the wall in this first 50. Potentially down in lane 2 or 3. And it is indeed Robert Burgess. Very strong first 50 there.
Yeah, Mike Merda as well, very close behind, just 4 100 separating them. Robert Burgess going well. It looks like it might be Connor Cherrington with that green cap, but coming through really strongly in lane number 4 now is Golden in the middle of those 2 yellow lanes here. It could be a win for Israel. Great support here from the crowd, but it is going to be Golden, I think, into the wall first. Omelchenko makes it a 1-2 for Israel, but that was very close indeed. And in third, it was Burgess, I think, capitalising on that good first 50.
Yeah, he went for it, respect that massively, and splitting up the party there for the Israelis. That was a great performance from the local. Wow, the Scottish local.
just along the road.
Just along the road.
Yeah,
Again.
good performance there. 2 Israelis coming through. They've got a junior team here.
Yeah, they do. It was a strong representation there, and they've got plenty more to come in the events coming up. But now we move on to the B final. few more Israelis in this one as well.
Yeah, strong squad here for this backstroke event. Adam Marana goes in at lane number 1. Moritz Dietrich from Austria in 2. Jack Skerry from Newhall in 3. Scott Gibson from Edinburgh University in 4. David Gerchik, another one of the Israeli swimmers, in 5. John Short from Limerick in 6. Stan Franks from Trust in lane 7. And Sam Pease from Stirling University in lane number 8.
Yeah, Scott Gibson, great Commonwealth Games last year, 50 backstroke specialist, so see an electric first 15 here, but yeah, it'll be the long-term pacing here for the 100. Let's see.
Scott Gibson, lane number 4 there. Expect these swimmers to be very close to the 15-metre mark in those starts. I think they all were.
Yeah, very good start there from David as well, lane 5, just to the bottom side of Scott Gibson. He's actually powering through now in this first 50, looking like a very strong first 50. Coming through in a 26.5, he's really setting himself up for a good performance here. Needs to hold the stroke together. There's a very good turn there for David though.
Yeah, David Gerchik in lane number 5, Scott Gibson there in lane number 4, and also lane number 3, Jack Skerry going well. Looks like Jack Skerry might have the edge here ahead of Scott Gibson in lane number 4. Scott Gibson trying to come back, 50-metre specialist as you said, but he's strong at the end of this 100. Is he going to get ahead of Skerry? No, it's Skerry who gets it, 55.88. Both of the 2 leading times there faster than they went in the qualification heats this morning. Dietrich from Austria in 3rd. It was very close indeed, but good swim there from Jack Skerry. Came off the wall very well at the bottom.
Yeah, he did. That was a huge drop from this morning as well, 56.6. 0.8 of a second drop, very impressive. Clearly held his pacing together in the morning, got him through. 55.8 wouldn't be too shabby in the A final actually, looking at the way things have been set up here.
That's right. This one I think is wide open, this A final in this 100 back. Who is going to take the initiative here? Elliot Clogg in lane 1 from Loughborough. And that's Wright Sammer from Austria into Jonathan Adam. He'll have a chance, University of Bath swimmer. Great heat swim from Cam Brooker in lane number 4. Conor Ferguson, the Irish swimmer, will come out in lane number 5. He should be fast away in the first 50. Brodie Williams, Commonwealth Games medalist. Looked good in qualification. Oliver Morgan had a young man, the youngest in this field, had a good bucks competition, winning 3 medals in the 3 backstroke events at bucks. And Manuel Martos Macarizo from Spain completes the lineup in lane number 8. Who do you think for this one, Jack? Conor Ferguson always fast out. Brodie Williams was strong last year. Commonwealth Games.
Brodie's got that 200 background. You've got the sprint specialist and Conor Ferguson and that back end from Brodie. So I think we'll see different strategies here as we did in the last race. A few athletes really powering down that first 50 and then the 200 based athletes really coming back in the final 15. But we'll wait and see.
And of course the 2 Bath swimmers as well, Jonathan Adam and Cam Brooker, had a great heat swim. Really comfortable in the heats.
Yeah,
And,
Cam Brooker looks strong.
and Oliver Morgan as well from Birmingham University is kind of an up-and-coming talent, I think. Very good at bucks. He was very good at the Summer Championships last year. The English Summer Champs and British Summer Champs. So, one to watch for the future, I think, Oliver Morgan. So, where is this one going to go? I don't think I can choose a winner. Who's going to seize the initiative here? Cam Brooker, fastest from the heats in lane number 4. Conor Ferguson, the Irishman, very fast out in lane number 5. Normally, Brodie Williams probably has the experience in lane 6. And starting well, Jonathan Adam, the Bath swimmer in lane number 3. He has gone out really well.
Absolutely powering. Look at the rate, the wash coming off the water. That is unbelievable going down this first line. Closely followed by Oliver Morgan as well. Apologies, Bernard. It's Laura I left there.
Yeah, Right Summer in second place. Jonathan Adam, again, experienced internationalist as well. Can he hold off the challenge here from Cameron Brooker in lane number 4? Looks like Adam has the edge here. Right Summer in lane number 2 as well. So it's 3 swimmers all in a row here. Right Summer in 2. In fact, there's about 4 or 5 swimmers in contention here, but Jonathan Adam reaches for the wall at the same time as Cameron Brooker. It's a dead heat for first place. It's a dead heat for the bronze medal position as well. Unbelievably close. 3 100s. That could have been a 4-way dead heat for that one.
Well, you called it, Paul. That was an unbelievably tight race. Who could have thought that? That was an incredible performance there. So close.
Look at that. Jonathan Adam and Cam Brooker, they would be delighted. It's a double Bath victory there. Austria take the bronze alongside Oliver Morgan. I said to watch out for that young man, Oliver Morgan. He's 20 years old this year. He's not too young, but up-and-coming talent, absolutely.
Well, on 100 metres, 20 is definitely on the younger side. He turned 4th, finished 4th. That was an impressive swim.
Finished 3rd, equal 3rd.
Equal 3rd, so he did.
Tie.
So he did, yeah.
So move on to the 200 butterfly. This one can't be as close as that one. Zara Kravic goes in lane number 1. Stella McCarty in 2. So it's East Lothian in 1. City of Glasgow in 2. Coco Croxford, Stirling Swim in 3. Eleanor Broughton from Repton in 4. Susie McNair from Stirling Swim in 5. Madison Cole from Bucky in 6. Aja Cole from Derventio in 7. And Georgia Dickey from Dumfries in lane number 8.
Great to see a bit of representation from Bucky. Far up north there. No, that's good. A bit more of a Scottish representation in this junior final.
I tell you, we saw a great swim this afternoon. Can't remember what event it was now, by Eve Woods from Orkney. 15-year-old who absolutely blitzed the qualification time. Not sure if she's made a junior final, but great to see a representation from Orkney.
Yeah, all corners far and wide.
Junior final, Sarah Kravis and East Lothian in lane 1. Stella McCarty, City of Glasgow in lane 2.
So a good start there from Stella McCarty. Goes in lane number 1. It's Scottish representation in this one. We've got Repton also in lane number 4 and Derventio in lane number 7. But it's Scots all the way apart from them.
Yeah, good to see. Bit of a gap in the market in the 200 butterfly of sorts, but we've got a few Canna McInnes from Scotland, and Hannah Miley was obviously excellent in this event, but it's good to see some of the juniors coming through the ranks.
Did your other half, Tane, ever enjoy the 200, Tane Bruce?
Enjoy is a strong word. That's I think tolerated from time to time. But no, I think it was certain athletes, of course, will use it as a tool to improve their 100 metres, and then you get sort of individual medley swimmers that will use it again to kind of support phases of their training. As I mentioned, Hannah Miley. So yeah, you might see some different strategies. Case in point, you've got a very fast start there up in lane 7 from Aja Cole.
Yes, I didn't swim 200 butterfly too often when I was swimming, but I never felt I got it quite right. I either went out too fast and just tied up at the end, or went out too slow and just had so much left at the end of the 200 fly. I never quite got it.
Yeah, one of those events you really need to get the pacing right, but looking like most of the field here, they're kind of holding it together, building through. Still up in lane 7 there. Close contest for 2nd and 3rd, Eleanor and Coco respectively.
Yeah, Cole there still stretching away. You'll see the split time there, 0.2 ahead of Eleanor Broughton, so that means she's kind of stretching away from the chasing pack, and it is a pack. There's around about 3 or 4 that's still in with the opportunity of taking this one, but Aja Cole has swum this really well at the moment. Can she hold on to this one? She had a 2:26.92 qualification. She can see the wall coming in now, and she's going to absolutely smash that one. It's going to be under 2:20. It is 2:19.87. Eleanor Broughton in 2nd and Susie McNair in 3rd. Great times there for the top 3, and also for Coco Croxford as well, and faster than her qualification time from this morning.
Yeah, there's huge drops there from heat to final. And Again, dipping under into the teens there. That's an excellent performance. Some great times across the board.
So we now move on to the B final. And we have in lane 1, Poppy Mead from Derventio, Hetty Damasa from Repton, Laura Cabanas Garzas from Spain, next to her Spanish teammate Alba Vasquez Louise, Macy Elliott, Loughborough University, Brigitte Sagard from Hobenstatten's, Manon de Montguillon from Liga Aura from France, and Karen Asbrook from Israel, another Israeli representative in this one. And, the overseas swimmers outrank the GB swimmers this time in this B final. Spanish have got a couple of strong swimmers here. Cabanas Garzas and Vasquez Ruiz. Again, the Spanish team have been big supporters of this Edinburgh International in the past. I do remember when the Beast from the East hit us back in, when was that, 2018, that the Spanish swimmers were here early and they avoided all the snow, and I think this competition was about the only thing that was happening in the whole of Scotland and the whole of Edinburgh. And the local swimmers, the Spanish were here, but the local swimmers couldn't get to some of their races because the conditions were so bad back then. Well, that's great to see a strong Spanish representation here. And Maisie Elliott is the one who leads them out, Loughborough University, in lane number 5, followed very closely by Brigitte Sagard, Hovenstaden swimmer. We've seen her before at the Edinburgh International. She's one lane up from the early leader, and also going well is one of those Spanish swimmers, Cabanas Garzas, in lane number 3. She's second, just ahead of Brigitte Sagard, but Maisie Elliott swam this first 100 pretty well. The middle 4 jacks seem to be kind of edging away from the others.
Yeah, looking strong, and again it's down in lane 3 there. Laura coming through, one of the Spanish contingent, making a bit of a play there, increased the stroke rate a bit. I think she'll be close to turning first there. It's still all to play for the top 3 places here between the 4 of them. That was a big shift there from lane 3. Laura, the Spanish athlete.
Yeah, nearly a second faster on that 50. Garzas was ahead of Brigitte Sagard, and that is why the positions have changed here. Coming through very strongly. It could be a Spanish 1-2 here as we hit the final stages of this one. Looks like Cabanas Garzas has this one sewn up. Vasquez Ruiz trying to make a comeback now. Guard in 3rd position, but it is going to be Spain 1 and 2. I think it's going to be Ruiz into the wall first in 2:14.62. Vasquez Ruiz in 2:16.86, and Brigitte Sagard in 3rd position. But again, big drops from heats to final.
Yeah, that was a really great performance there. It's almost a negative, well, not quite a negative split, but very strong second half. We talked about pacing earlier. That was a great approach to the race from both the Spanish athletes. Really timed it well.
So Spain 1 and 2, and Denmark in 3rd place in that B final. We now move on to the A final. Again, some good names in this one. Holly Hibbett. No. First out. Holly Hibbett, English Commonwealth Games swimmer, representing Bath University. Another one of the Spanish swimmers now. Paula Jos Sanchez. Emily Large. Another Commonwealth Games swimmer from Milford. She goes in 3. Laura Stevens will be a big favourite for this one. Commonwealth silver medalist. Kara Slosson from Edinburgh University. She goes in lane number 5. Kiana McInnes. McInnes out there in lane number 6. What can she do? Lily Rose Berthollet from Liga from France goes in lane number 7. And Katerina Price from the University of Bath in lane number 8.
Yeah, Laura Stevens, Olympic Games 10th place, won British champs, European Championships 4th, plenty of accolades, and like you said, Commonwealth Games silver medalist as well. Again, you can't discount some of the outside lanes, even Holly Hibbett out in lane 1 potentially. Again, she's got stellar background in the 200, but I think it will be coming from the centre lanes here. Great performance from Ciara Sloshan to get into lane 5. She's been on strong form recently, as has Kiana McInnes and Emily Large, so I think it will be a really exciting race for that top 3.
Yeah, Laura Stevens looked absolutely supreme in qualification. The meet record 207.54. Laura Stevens was less than a second outside that in the qualification, so I've got to think that the meet record might well be on here. She had a good box championships 2 weeks ago, a couple of good tussles with Kiana McInnes in those box champs.
Definitely, I mean, going 2:08 in the morning is, you know, really sort of solidifying a presence here, 4 seconds ahead of the next person. But we'll wait and see what everyone else has to say about that this evening. And actually, I mentioned Holly Hibbett. It's Holly Hibbett turning first potentially. Second, just Laura Stevens holding that length into the wall for that first 50.
Yeah, Holly Hibbett, of course, experienced internationalists, don't count her out. This 200 butterfly, she was a finalist in the Commonwealth Games as well, Holly Hibbett, so she is very much in the mix in these early stages, and as we might see in the finals to come, if you've got a lane in this final, you've got a chance. You just don't know what people were doing in the heats. As long as you're in that final, you're in with a shout of getting on that medal podium. But Laura Stevens looking great there on that first 50. That first 100, sorry, 101.7. She has a lead over Emily Large, who's going well in lane 3. Holly Hibbett still in the top 3, and McInnes also there in lane number 6.
Yeah, I think McInnes usually does come back quite strong in the second half, but Emily Large having a very good performance. Holly Hibbett still holding form there, closely followed by Paula, but it really is Laura Stevens pushing through, pulling ahead. This is an absolutely stellar performance here.
Well, Laura Stevens has kind of just come on in the last couple of years, made the GB Olympic team. Obviously that medal at the Commonwealth Games has really pushed her to the forefront of the butterfly events, 200 butterfly especially, and there is no way she is going to be beaten here. Kiana McInnes now in with a little bit of a battle with Emily Large for the silver medal position, but keep an eye on the clock here. The meet record stands at 2:07.54. It's going to be very close to that, and she's inside the meet record. She's inside 2:07.41. Excellent swim there from Laura Stevens. It was Kiana McInnes who just got the edge over Emily Large, but there is the winner. A new meet record for Laura Stevens. The first we've seen of these championships this week.
Yeah, unbelievable swim. That was so strong. Just goes to show that 2:08 from the morning, still very controlled considering the drop she made there. So that was a real world-class swim there. That's a huge confidence boost with trials next month and World Championships to come. So building on that momentum from the Commonwealth Games last year, and every chance going into trials and beyond this year.
Yeah, well, so you mentioned she made her Olympic debut in Tokyo, but it's a 3-year cycle to Paris, isn't it? So
it is, and peaking at this time, it's getting the timing right. It certainly is. It'll come around thick and fast.
It certainly will. Paris just a year away, and that will be beginning to be in the minds of a lot of these swimmers as we start this 2023 season. We're into the 200 freestyle now, Jack. Well, an absolutely incredible A final in prospect. Tom Dean, Duncan Scott, James Guy still to come. That is going to be a cracker. But first we have the junior final, followed by the B final. This junior final, 200 freestyle, 2 Israelis in 1 and 2. Daniel Barach and Daniel Dravchov. George Snow from Millfield goes in 3. Evan Bailey from Limerick in 4. Yannick Weiland from Netherlands in 5. Alex Harron from Derventio in 6. Evan Davidson from Perth City in 7. And Jacob Wibley from Repton in lane number 8.
Again, strong Israeli contingent coming through in the outside lanes, but well, we say that, it's looking like lane 8 is really storming. Jacob Whibley up there, but we'll see if we can hold on to that pace. It is coming from the centre lanes as we would expect as well. Evan Bailey coming through there in second turn, setting themselves up. Again, it's all around that pacing. We've spoken the 200 fly, people that really go out with purpose, but 3 lengths to go. You really need to get your pacing right in this event, all to play for.
Yeah, Evan Bailey going well in lane number 4 now, pulling up probably on Jacob Whibley as they come down to the halfway point. Jacob Whibley still with that lead though. Evan Bailey in second position, George Snow in third, Danik Wyland in 4th place. And Whibley looking strong in that outside lead.
Yeah, he's still holding it together, but Evan's pulling away a little bit now from Snow. It's a bit of a tactical shift there. Snow was in the lane line and Evans moved across to get away from him. I think he maybe noticed what he was up to, trying to draft on that wave. But still looking like Jacob is just hanging on for second. Evan just moving into first place now.
It does look like Evan is just going to take this one. Evan Bailey with a very slender lead over Jacob Whibley. Jacob Whibley now trying to hold on to that second position. George Snow coming back really strongly in lane number 3 as well. They are going to be the top 3, I think. But it looks like Evan Bailey might well take this one. Whibley trying to hold on in the outside lane and really pulling away strongly. And it is Jacob Whibley will take that one. What a finish that was from him. I thought Evan Bailey had it, but Jacob Whibley found something in that last 10 metres to pull himself ahead. 1:53.26 and 1:53.62. 2 fantastic times there.
Absolutely powered. It was a 28.92 there in that last 50. It's a real tactical third length there from Jacob. Yeah, it's really powering through, and it came in just in time. That was an excellent performance.
Well done, Jacob Whibley, to take that one. Big improvements on the heat times. These junior swimmers. Now we go on to the B final. Jack Munsey goes in lane number 1, forced his way into that B final. He swam in the afternoon session this afternoon, Jack Munsey. Charlie Hutchison from Loughborough University in 2. Kieran Bird and Luke Turley, University of Bath. They go in 3 and 4. Jeremy Bagshaw from Limerick goes in 5. Evan Jones, another one who had a good Bucks Championships, 2 medals in the Commonwealth Games in the relay teams for the Scottish team. Evan Jones. Finn McGeever in 7, and Ed Mildred from University of Bath in lane number 8. So a big representation from the University of Bath. 3 in this final, 2 from Limerick, 2 from Stirling Uni, and 1 from Loughborough Uni.
Yeah, lots of personal best times here under the 150 point. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few of the athletes challenge that low 150 into the 149s potentially. A really strong field, plenty of these athletes vying up to some of the heat spots potentially for the Olympics. Yeah, the strength of that 4x2 team just shows the British field. Ed Mildred again, very strong 100 swimmer. Evan Jones, good background in individual medley. Kieran Bird, more of a 800 swimmer, but a 148 to his name nonetheless.
Yeah, it's come down to the halfway point. Looks like Ed Mildred with that good start. Field just trying to come back on him now as they go to the halfway. Charlie Hutchison has come through strongly. He will lead them. Evan Jones also looking in good shape there in second position. And Finn McGeever it was coming through into third place. But Charlie Hutchison and Evan Jones just another couple of 50 splits under the 28 seconds there, and that's taken them into the top 2 positions.
Yeah, Charlie's looking really strong there in lane 2, looking across the field, breathing to his left, so he'll be breathing away from the field coming back here. He's really put himself in a great spot to be challenging for that first place. Challenge coming from the top there. Evan and Finn McGeever.
Charlie Hutchison's really powered there. He's improving almost every 50 that he swam there. 28.19 was the split there for Charlie Hutchison. Are they going to catch him? The whole field coming back now. Is Hutchison going to hold on here? It's very close at the end. And it's Bagshaw who takes it. Well, 150.90. And Bagshaw takes it ahead of Hutchison just on the touch. Evan Jones in third. I didn't think that Charlie Hutchison was going to be beaten there, but it was a great finish from Jeremy Bagshaw to take that one in 150.90. 3/100 separating them.
Absolutely storming, got his hand through the wall there. Just shows the finish. It really matters every single stroke, and that reach at the end there won at 3/100ths of a difference. Well, great to see a few athletes in the 150, but I think we'll be seeing plenty of athletes here in that sub 150. What a field we have in this A final.
Well, they're going to be led out for swimmer in the outside lane, and there is Duncan Scott, the Olympic Games silver medalist, the Commonwealth champion in this event. Next to his Stirling University teammate Jack McMillan. It's almost pairs of swimmers here. Joe Litchfield in lane 3 from Loughborough University. Next to his Loughborough teammate Felix Albert. 4th place in the Olympic Games for Austria in the 400 freestyle. The Olympic champion Tom Dean from the University of Bath goes in lane number 5. He looked absolutely supreme in the heats. And there is James Guy. 5-time Olympic medalist James Guy, putting 2 golds in Tokyo. 2 Spanish swimmers completing the lineup. Cesar Castrovalli in 7 and Francisco Arevalo Rubio in lane number 8. So 2 from Stirling, 2 from Loughborough, 2 from Bath, 2 from Spain.
Side by side, training partners respectively. And really interesting here, Tom Dean and James Guy, Duncan and Jack, Joe and Felix. Again, such a stellar field, incredible experience, personal best times, well under the sub 150. Where they're at in training, we'll see. So a lot of them have facial here, trials still to come, but I think a lot of them, like we said, will be looking to put on a great performance here, set themselves up for their respective trials, kind of really have a hit out, see what they've got in the tank. Yeah, and Duncan Scott outside lane, we'll wait and see, but Tom Dean did look really strong this morning, relaxed, easing up into the wall.
Yeah, he was very good, Tom Dean. And I do remember the head-to-head that we built last year's Edinburgh International. Tom Dean getting the better of Duncan Scott. Of course, later in the year, Duncan Scott got his revenge, Commonwealth Games. These two just seem to be going head-to-head at the major championships. We are seeing absolute quality right in front of our eyes here in Edinburgh. Olympic Games gold and silver medalists go in this final of the 200 freestyle. Duncan Scott just qualifying for that final in lane number 1. He's closest to us. Tom Dean off to a good start in lane number 5. We've seen Duncan Scott swim and win from the outside lane before.
We have, but Tom is looking very strong here down this first 50. It's a bit of a tactic he usually goes for, goes out very hard, sets the tone of the race. He's saying, right, I'm here, this is my presence, 24-70 feet, very purposeful first 50.
Well, James Guy next to Tom Dean as well in lane number 6, but Tom Dean, the Olympic champion, looking very good. James Guy, an experienced campaigner, and real success at the Olympic Games for him with that red cap, but Tom Dean has the edge. Duncan Scott around about 4th at the minute, just behind Jack McMillan, his teammate from Stirling, but Tom Dean looking great there.
Yeah, Jack McMillan had an excellent Commonwealth Games, looking really strong, the really long, relaxed stroke. Tom Dean pulling away a little bit there from James Guy, again looking really powerful, long reach, really taking advantage of those levers, kick powerful behind them, 6, 7, 8 beat kicks. Yeah, Jack McMillan's powering through into 2nd place now.
Wow, Tom Dean has gone incredibly fast here. Jack McMillan, a great split there for the 50, but he is behind Tom Dean now. He's around about a second and a bit behind Tom Dean. James Guy trying to come back to try and challenge Jack McMillan. Duncan Scott is trying to get into the top 3, but he's not going to catch Tom Dean. This is going to be a great performance from Tom Dean. He is going to take this one. He's got clear water between him and the rest of the field. An excellent swim for Tom Dean. He's only 4/100ths outside the meet record. 146.07 for Tom Dean. He went out with a purpose and he brought it home. In second position it is James Guy, and it was Jack McMillan just getting ahead of Duncan Scott for that bronze medal position. So Bath 1 and 2, Stirling 3 and 4, but Tom Dean, Jack, that was impressive, wasn't it?
Really was. Went out with purpose from the start. And for James Guy's credit there, he came back really strong on that 450. Held it together well, and I think Jack McMillan will be pleased to take the edge on Duncan Scott, his teammate there respectively.
Yeah, he looked good, Jack McMillan, there.
Did, very long, powerful stroke. Yeah, it was great.
Certainly in the middle part of that 200, Jack McMillan was a bit the only one who was absolutely on a pace with Tom Dean, but Tom Dean had that edge at the start, and he was very powerful in that 50.
Absolutely, and now down to the other end of the pool, splash and dash, the junior final of the 50 freestyle women.
Yeah, in this one, Melissa Mainwaring, West Lothian, Ailey Robertson, South Ayrshire, Maria Romanovskaya from Repton, Nicole Dupree from Millfield, Natalie Marshall, West Lothian, Ariana Stokes, Morpeth, Mary Mashenko from Aberdeen Performance, and Mikaelin Stobreko from Hovenstadt. And as they go past the halfway point, lane number 4, Nicole Dupree from Millfield, with that green cap, maybe just has an advantage here. Looks like Nicole Dupree might be in for a win here in this 50. She is in 26.77, dipping under that 27-second mark. As did Romanovskaya in second, and Mishchenko just over the 27-second mark in third position. But nice to dip under that barrier there from Nicole Dupree.
Yeah, that was great. Really went out with purpose. Fast first 15 there. Really are coming thick and fast. Really had a moment to draw breath there.
So still talking about Tom Dean, and we're already on to the B final of the 50 freestyle. Yeah, some big names in this one, Jack. Evie Davis, Stirling Uni, Maury Devine from Repton, Harriet Rogers, Loughborough, Milo van Wyk from Netherlands, Erin Reardon from Ireland, Lucy Hope from Stirling Uni, Katie Goodburn, Edinburgh, and Sian Gilland from Israel.
Yeah, again, very competitive to get into that A final. So again, you'll see some top quality swims here from the B final athletes.
So into the B final, in fastest position was Milo van Wyk in lane number 4, but lane number 3 is Harriet Rogers from Loughborough University. She's gone out very fast indeed now. Harriet Rogers maybe just holding the edge in lane number 3, but absolute blanket finish here. It's Milo van Wyk pulling through in the closing stages, and Milo van Wyk will take that one in 25.44. Improvement of 0.4 of a second from this morning, and Harriet Rogers also improving her time by 0.2 of a second. Lucy Hope in third place.
Yeah, a few athletes dipping under that 26 point. It's very good there from Milo van Wyk. That was a really long reach, long ranging athlete there, taking full advantage of the levers, getting her hand on the wall there. 0.4 of a drop, huge drop.
And of course, we don't go to the A final straight away because it is the skins coming up for this 50 event. So we go firstly to the junior final for the men. We have Nir Hay from Israel in 1, Kieran Lennox from University of Aberdeen Performance in 2, Tom Robertson, Aberdeen Dolphin in 3, Brodie Gordon Gibson, Warren Dabas in 4, Dean Fern, Aberdeen Dolphins, the youngest in this junior final. He goes in lane 5. Evan Bailey from Limerick goes in 6. Liam Dawson in 7 for Deventio, and Andrew Brodie from Aberdeen Dolphins goes in lane number 8. Evan Bailey back in the water again, Jack. We just saw him in the 200.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think the 200's a bit of a prime for him, but we'll see. I think he would have preferred the other way around, but we'll wait and see what he's got left in the tank. Splash and dash.
Evan Bailey goes in at lane number 6, just one lane up from those 2 centre lanes. Great start from Liam Dawson for Derventio there in lane number 7. Also going well, Tom Robertson in lane number 3. Kieran Lennox as well in lane number 2. Centre lane's all coming back. We'll pick a winner here. It's all going to be on the finish. It is Dean Fern, the youngster in the field, getting in ahead. 25.30 for the young 15-year-old Kieran Lennox, and Tom Robertson a tenth of a second behind him.
Yeah, great performance there for Dean. Really nailed his finish there, timed it perfectly to hit the wall just as you want to in the 50 fly. Can lose a lot in that finish.
Well, the B final of this 50 metres butterfly. I thought that Evan Bailey had it hard. Here's James Guy back in again. That's a bit of a turnaround.
It is indeed. He's probably had about 4 minutes, if that.
He's had 350 freestyles in between the sounds for James Guy. Callum Bain goes in 1, representing Dublin. Andre Vasseos from Greece goes into James Guy. And Ed Mildred back in again, the 2 University of Bath swimmers in 3 and 4. Jamie Ingram in 5. Gregor Swinney, the Scottish Commonwealth Games swimmer, goes in 6. Casper Pugard from Hovenstadens goes in 7. Brian Leong from Chelsea and Westminster goes in lane number 8. Well, this is a test, isn't it?
It is indeed. Backing up 200 free with a 50 fly. Again, it could be a prime, but there's not a lot. We'll see what's what. Ed Mildred is still a very good start there in lane 4. Jamie Ingram again, an excellent start, really powering through.
Guy with the red cap there has got a little bit to do in the closing stages of this one. It is pretty close though. It might possibly be Gregor Swinney to the wall, is it? It is! 24.29 for Gregor Swinney. Scottish Commonwealth Games team member takes that one 2/100ths of a second ahead of Casper Pugard, with Jamie Ingram in 3rd position. Brian Leong just outside as well. Gregor Swinney, Scottish record holder, of course. Gregor Swinney, not too far away from his Scottish record, only 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, it's a very strong performance there for Gregor Swinney. 23.9, his personal best. I think he'll be very pleased with that. Get down low. I don't suspect he'll be fully rested for this, so I think that's a great sign of what's to come.
Right, Jack, skins time. Here we go.
Here we go indeed. So the format's slightly different from years past. There are only 3 rounds this time round, and we'll have 4 drop out after the first round. So it'll go 8 to 4, then 4 to 2. So again, those top 2 athletes will have 350s total. So a really competitive first 50 here.
So previously they dropped 1, didn't they? So you had like 7 rounds of swims. And they just
I believe
dropped 1
it was
at a time.
5. I think it was 5 they
was
did.
it?
Yeah. So again, I think it went 2, 2, and then down to 1 respectively.
Right.
But yeah, meaning
Still,
that this first.
You said that would have suited you better with 3 50s in a row.
I think so. By the fourth or fifth, it was a real struggle. So announcing both the female 50 freestyle and male 50 fly respectively here.
Yeah, they're all coming out at the same time. So they'll swim 1.5 minutes apart. So the women will go, and then 1.5 minutes later the men will go. And then the women who are still in it, they will come back to the top and swim 1.5 minutes later. So they've got to make their way up and be ready for the start. Then we'll lose another 2. The same thing will happen again. I'm going to keep the clock on this one, Jack.
Yeah, good idea. Keep us right. We'll get a whistle with 10 seconds. So the first start here will count. So I think we'll see a few athletes really going for it here to take advantage. Anna Hopkin in particular. I think we'll be having a crack at another sub-25 point. Katie Duluth.
Katie Duluth is sub-25 at box. 24.74 for Katie Duluth. So
potential. So again, this first 50 will count towards a time. Times after this will be a 10-second whistle and then a whistle respectively, so those times won't count. Again, very competitive to get through. 4 athletes will be dropped here.
So line up for this one: Freya Anderson in 1, Isabella Hindley in 2, Katie Duluth in 3, Anna Hopkin in 4, Kim Bush in 5, Sam Van Noonem in 6, Cornelia Fejkovic in 7, and Signe Bro in lane number 8. Oh, Anna Hopkin, of course, Olympic Games gold medalist in the relay. She goes in lane number 4. Kim Bush from Netherlands had a great heat swim, goes in lane number 5. Katie DeLoof, as we said, with that straight arm stroke in lane number 3, had a very good Bucks Championships. Top 4 will qualify and stay in the skins event. Anna Hopkin looks like she's going to take this one. Anna Hopkin takes it in 24.72 ahead of Kim Bush. Katie DeLoof will survive, and Sam Van Noonen will survive. Cornelia Fedkovic just 6/100ths outside. Well,
very strong swim there from Anna. 24.7, really world-class time. Got her 24.6 on paper here. I can't remember her time exactly, but I think she'll be very pleased to drop under that 24, onto the 25 again, sorry.
Well, everyone under the 26-second mark. Fedkovic 25.51, Henley 25.62, Anderson 25.68, and Signe Bro 25.75.
Ken Bush looked really strong there as well. 25.0, back down to the other end for the 50 butterfly.
Yeah, line up for this one. Janice Dutel, Thomas Carswell, Nikita Bias, Simon Butcher, Jacob Peters, Sean Newald, Thomas Piron and Killian Pitch. So a range of nationalities in this one. Jacob Peters from University of Bath next to the Austrian Simon Bucher. Simon Bucher in lane number 4 was fastest into this final. He is behind Jacob Peters at the minute, University of Bath swimmer. Looks like he might take this one. Jacob Peters now coming in to the finish, pressed by Booker, and it is Jacob Peters takes it in 23.74. Great time again from Jacob Peters. Booker will survive in 23.98. Piron in 3rd and Newell in 4th. And just missing out there to continue the skins was Bias by 7/100ths of a second.
Yeah, that was a great swim from Jacob again, really nailed his wall there. Simon Booker getting a little bit stuck off the start. Jacob had a really good start, so yeah, we'll see that's 4 being dropped. So we're back down to the end of the pool. And I think going off your clock, we're looking to be hearing that 10-second whistle soon.
Yeah, got maybe another 10 seconds to go. Swimmers, some of them will survive, some of them will have to drop out there. Bias, Dutel, Carswell and Peck, they will be the ones to drop out as we go back to the women now. It's those centre 4 lanes. Katie DeLoof, Anna Hopkin, Kim Bush, Sam Van Noonen. That is the 4. Great start from Katie DeLoof there. And she is away and clear, trying to survive here. I think that Anna Hopkin and Katie DeLoof could be the 2. Kim Bush doesn't look like she fancies this one. Anna Hopkin being caught by Sam Van Noonen as well. Katie DeLoof is going to win this one, and in 2nd it will be Sam Van Noonen. So Anna Hopkin will drop out, as will Kim Bush. Kim Bush wasn't up for that one at all, I don't think.
No, I think the start said it all. More or less fell off the block there, but again the performances put in that first 50 is so competitive. Lactic acid will be through the roof at this stage. Again, these skins really kind of lend themselves to the 100 or even the 200 athletes. Again, Jacob Peters have a good background in the 100 freestyle. Wait and see if that shines through.
So Katie DeLoof, of course, an Olympic medalist herself for the USA team, now of course based in Loughborough. So back to the men. 4 will now go down to 2. Now 4 swimmers. Booker closest to us in lane 4. Jacob Peters in 5. Sean Newald in 6 and Thomas Piron in 7.
Well, Jacob looking like he got caught out a little bit there in the start, but they've managed to make up for it. It's a good start there for Booker. Capitalising, he's looking strong. It's looking to be Booker, Jacob coming into the wall. Bit of a challenge there from Thomas. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be Booker and Jacob. Yeah, comfortably in the end there.
Two red hats getting in. Simon Booker and Jacob Peters. Thomas Piron did look like he challenged there. You said Jacob Peters seemed to get caught out by the start, but of course, you know, there's no starting signal, not the normal starting signal, just a whistle, 10 seconds out.
Yeah, well, you've got that 10-second reaction, well, 10 seconds to kind of set yourself up, and then it's a pure reaction from there. So, again, I remember in years past, a few athletes have been massively caught out by that. Never back down to the other end of the pool.
Lane 5 from the Netherlands, Sam Van Noonen.
So Katie Duluth and Sam Van Noonen, they will contest the final of the skins. Katie Duluth, probably the favourite after looking at that second 50, you would say. Sam Van Noonen, can she spring a surprise here?
Well, they both had a great reaction there, all things considered. It's looking like Katie Duluth with a really strong first 15. I think it's comfortably going to be Duluth at this rate, powering away.
Well, she swam a great 50 freestyle in the bucks, as we said. She's had a couple of good 50 freestyles here already, and this is going to be a third one. She is going to win this skins very easily indeed. Katie Duluth wins it in 26.40, a couple of seconds ahead of Sam Van Noonen. A great performance, a smile there by the Netherlands swimmer. She'll be delighted to make it to that final two, but no stopping Katie Duluth, the American, who takes that skins title.
Well, 26.4 in its own right is still a very fast time. If I think back to the B final, there was only a handful that dipped under the 26, so that was really, really strong last 50 there with two very quick 50s prior. Now we head back down. Booker and Jacob.
This is an interesting one, isn't it? Because
Booker had a really good start. He had a really good start. Jacob, like we said, got caught out a little bit, and Booker again was about a metre up in that last 50, but Jacob might have held back a little bit. You just don't know. There's a lot of tactics going on in the skins.
But it was kind of the opposite way about on the original race, wasn't it? On the first race, where Peters got away well.
Yeah, well, he really went for it.
Struggled to get back on terms. So very interesting one. Expect this one to be a little bit closer here.
Yeah, an excellent start from both of them. Booker just taking the edge, really quick underwaters, taking full advantage of that 15. Booker still powering through. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be Booker at this rate. Jacob's still hanging on, but I think that's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, Simon Booker is going to take this one. It is going to be a victory, 24.36 for Simon Booker. He will take that skins title ahead of Jacob Peters, who finishes in 26.13. Looked like it was going to be a close contest in the early stages there, but as the race progressed, I think Peters just didn't have an answer.
Yeah, and it looks like Booker's borrowing Luke Greenbank's hat. Not sure why that's the case, but that is in fact Simon Booker.
It's going to be Luke Greenbank's lucky hat.
It may well
from
be.
now on.
May well be. Now we slow things down again. We're in the 400 freestyle, the junior heats.
Yeah, there's the lineup for this junior final. Alice Forrest goes in lane number 1. Phoebe Arbuckle goes in lane 2. Charlotte Room in lane number 3. We have Angelina Roman, Netherlands swimmer, in that centre lane in lane number 4. Susie McNair goes in 5. Katie Noble in 6. Mary Mischenko from University of Aberdeen Performance in 7. And Hannah Hodgkiss goes in lane number 8. Interesting one, this track, and right closest to us, Derwent-side swimmer, Alice Forrest, 14 years of age, youngest in this junior final.
Yeah, very young, very impressive to see. Coming through and challenging the older field. Again, the 400 freestyle women, you do see a right range of athletes, age groups. Again, you've got the experience of the A final, your Paige Madden, for example, up at 25, and again, we've got a 14-year-old in this race, so it just really goes to show the depth and breadth of the sport, particularly in some of the distance events. It is lane 4. Angela going out very strong that first 50 and backing up the second 50.
Yeah, Netherlands. So Angelina Roman just heading the field there as they go over that first 100. 32.74 for that second 50, and a big lead of around about 1.5 seconds. Charlotte Room in second position, Katie Noble in third place, and Susie McNair in fourth. But looks very good. Angelina Roman, 16-year-old there. 4:27 was the time that she had in her qualification. She's looking to improve on that, and she's gone out with a purpose here. Do you ever go up as far as 400, Jack? I mean, you did start as a distance swimmer, didn't you?
I did indeed, yeah. I was actually 1500 back in the day. Up to about 16 years old, that was my main thing. Can't say I was very good at it, that being said. So I did dabble on the 400, and then I went all the way down to 50. So went from the longest event to the shortest. Transition of coach, and that was a bit of a learning curve, but I can relate. And I think this event in particular, we think back to the 1500, we had that bell, the warning of the final 100. That's actually a necessity for a lot of athletes. Speaking from experience, it is needed, but 400 short course in particular, you do see a few embarrassing moments of very experienced senior athletes missing count, but long course it's less likely, less walls, so hopefully not a very embarrassing moments here, but it happens. But still centre lanes. Angela still holding on. She's actually moved across there to the right hand side, and I think that Charlotte could potentially take advantage of that. We saw that earlier in the 200. There was a few athletes, again, it's the tactics of hooking onto lane lines, trying to ride the wave of your competitor, hang on to their feet. And Charlotte's doing that exactly, still holding on.
Yeah, the split's pretty close, within 6 100ths of each other. Susie McNair, exactly the same split as Charlotte Room, so not really making much of inroads there, although Susie McNair is starting to pick up the pace a little. She's trying to come back on the top two, but as they go down to the 300 mark, it's Angelina Roman who has led absolutely the whole way so far. 1/100 to go for Roman, and she still has a lead there. Just increased that lead, as you see, by 0.2 of a second. McNair is now closing up significantly on Charlotte Room, maybe having designs on that second position, but it is Angelina Roman looking very good as they come into this final turn.
Yeah, that was a really strong there from Susie, powering away. Real switch in tactics there, I think, potentially. Again, it's how you decide to pace it. Building through, you quite often see that in the 400, and Susie's putting herself in a great position there to be turning into second place.
Now McNair does get in at second place, and she is, 0.7 faster than Angelina Roman in that previous 100, but the gap is around about 2 and a bit seconds, so surely McNair cannot come back on the long-time leader, Angelina Roman. Roman has kicking hard now. Susie McNair, what a great second half of this 400 she has had, but she is not going to finish on top. That is going to go to Angelina Roman. Two completely different ways to swim the 400 there, Jack, and they finished within a couple of seconds of each other. Great finish there from Susie McNair, but she couldn't catch Angelina Roman, who takes that junior final in 4:25.85.
Yeah, well, Angelina led it from the start to the finish. Interesting, going side to side in the lane rope there. She would one side and across the other. It was, not sure if that was a tactical thing there, but yeah, it was really well done by Susie as well. Very evenly paced swim, building through those hundreds. Great tactic for the 400. Now we move on to the B final.
Yeah, Anya Brice from Nova Centurion goes in lane number 1. Alba Herrero Lazaro from Spain goes in 2. Michaela Glenister from Stirling University in 3. Anastasia Gorbenko from Israel goes in 4. Johanna Enker from Austria in 5. Fleur Lewis, Loughborough University in 6. Yara Kalmtooth from Netherlands in 7. And Caroline Jensen from Hovenstatens in Denmark goes in lane number 8. junior finalists taking their time getting out of the water.
Yeah, they are indeed. Slowing down the show a little bit, but got there. Well, can we blame them? 400 freestyle, bit of a brutal one.
Anastasia Gorbenko, one of the stars of Israeli swimming, almost a multi-eventer. See her have success in a number of events, individual medley, backstroke, breaststroke, and she's had a pretty good 400 freestyle, just missing out on the final in the 400 freestyle. She's swimming the heats in the afternoon. That was, so she was just missing out of the top seeds. She managed to post that. No, she didn't. It was in the morning, actually, in one of the very early heats. She was a slow time by comparison, just missing out in the final. And, she's second at the moment behind Lazaro. Gorbenko looking to improve on that 4:19 time that she swam this morning.
Yeah, Spanish athlete, line 2, going very well there. Again, interesting tactic. Bit of a higher rate and pace there for Lazaro, comparatively for Gorbenko. Gorbenko's a bit slower, a bit more relaxed. Again, it's the first 100. It's all about just easing in, building through. We saw the different tactics in the junior final. Be a similar approach here for the athletes. Some will be going up a bit stronger, such as Lazaro, and Gorbenko potentially coming back through, but we don't know again how athletes swam in the heat comparatively. They've been holding back a little bit.
Yeah, almost a diagonal line right across the pool there. Look at that. Almost in formation as they go up to this 150 mark. Michaela Glenister as well from Stirling University. Another swimmer we've seen her in open water events as well, Michaela Glenister.
Yeah, it's good to see. I mean, 400 comparatively for open water is very much a sprint, so it's good to see some of those athletes dabbling in the pool events. But again, we're kind of across a line here.
Yeah, look at that. Very, very close indeed. Lazaro, Glenister, Gorbenko, Enka, Lewis. Those are the leading swimmers here. Fleur Lewis, of course, the British champion in the longer distance, 1500 freestyle. So again, it's quite a short one for Fleur Lewis.
Yeah, again, I expect her to come through in this second half a bit more, take advantage of that distance background. There's Lazaro again still holding.
Look at this.
Glenister closely followed. I mean, take your pick at this stage. It's unbelievably close. All 5 athletes, stroke for stroke. Again, with 150 metres to go at this stage.
Let's see the gap. Let's see the gap at this one as they all turn. Look at that. 24.31 down to 241.56 to 241.31. 0.2 of a second separated all 5 of them. Wow.
Yeah, and it might actually be up in lane 6 there. Flo Lewis, we spoke about her coming through. It's looking like she's made a bit of a shift, kicked into gear a little bit. Coming through well. She's again just picked up the rate significantly on this. Coming into the final 100, she has indeed a big drop there, 32.7 comparatively to a 33 high in her last 50. So that was a big shift in pace there.
Fleur Lewis now, and the diagonal is almost the opposite way, Jack, as we look at the pool. You had it all from Lazaro down to Fleur Lewis. It's kind of sorting itself out a little bit now. Fleur Lewis has made a bid here into the front. British champion, of course, in the longer distance, and she's really showing that strength.
Gorbenko coming through again. She made a bit of a kick there into the 32s, both for Fleur Lewis and Gorbenko. They're pushing on. Has Gorbenko left too much to do, too late? She's really going to her legs here. She's powering away. Look at the length and the stroke there.
God, that's
sprinting.
Incredibly long arm stroke there from Gorbenko. Look at the reach that she's got at the front here. It's going to be Lewis against Gorbenko here as they come into the final stages. It's going to be stroke for stroke. It might be Lewis just for the touch here. Fleur Lewis takes it in 4:17.57. Anastasia Gorbenko in second in 4:17.87, and Joanna Inker in third place. But what a great race that was, Jack. Such a great contest. Fleur Lewis taking that one ahead of Gorbenko and Enka, with Lazaro in 4th position.
Was indeed, and looking at the times here, Gorbenko is a 5-second personal best there. It's a huge swim, and a 30.3 in that last 50. It's utterly sprinting down the last line, but Fleur Lewis holding her pacing together well. Excellently executed swim there for the top 2-3 athletes. Now we move on to the A final.
Yeah, again, one that we've been looking forward to. It's kind of one that's a little bit wide open, this one. Anyone who could just make a move here. Martina Leclerc from Liga Aura in France. Paige Madden, she'll be one of the favourites. Had a great swim at Bucks, the American medalist from the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Leah Crisp, though, she's been a British champion before in 800 freestyle. Freya Colbert, is she going to be the one to beat? She goes in lane 4 for Loughborough. Jana Van Kooten, and a good heat swim as well. Mia Slavin from Loughborough, 3rd of the Loughborough swimmers in lane 6. Alice Pizan from Belgium. Speaking to the Belgian coach earlier, he was quite happy for his swimmer to make this final. Can she get herself in the medal positions? Silke Hulkenborg from the Netherlands, the 2nd Netherlands swimmer, going in the outside lane.
Yeah, we've got Paige Madden, first from Bucks a few weeks back, and then 7th at the Olympic Games. Freya Colbert, she was 10th at the Commonwealth Games. Again, looked very strong. She was actually 2nd to Paige Madden a few weeks ago in the Bucks Championships. In very good form, both respectively with personal best times sub 4:10. So again, if they're anywhere close to that, we could be seeing a great race here. Entry times from the heats of 14 and 16 respectively. Again, contingent from Jana Van Kooten of the Netherlands in lane 5, the two teenagers. The experience of Paige Madden. Again, don't discredit Leah Crisp, University of Bath. Strong performances.
Yeah, well, Paige Madden and Freya Colbert 1 and 2 at the Bucks Championships a couple of weeks ago. And they're renewing this rivalry. Freya Colbert also had some great contests against Katie Shanahan in the individual medley events as well. So she had a busy programme at Bucks. And
Paige Madden really going for it there. 28 respectively for Paige and Freya. Strong first 50s. Paige taking it with purpose. Again, a bit more of a relaxed heat swim potentially, considering her Bucks performances. Again, I think this is shaping up to be a strong race. They're within a lane of each other, breathing towards each other in the second line. Kind of similar styles, relaxed kick, medium length of stroke. A few extra kicks off the wall from Paige there.
Again, shaping up to be another good contest here. The top 2, the pre-race favourites. Just chat with times, entry times under the 4:10 mark. Freya Colbert would love to get a little bit of revenge over Paige Madden for that Bucks result a couple of weeks ago, and she's going about it in the right way. Freya Colbert looking really strong here.
She certainly is, pulling away a little bit there. 0.5 of a second quicker on that 50. Really going out with purpose. Pushing ahead. Paige again, interesting. A few more kicks off the wall. It's an interesting tactic in the 400. Can tire you out a little bit more than it's worth in this event. Freya opting for more of a single kick up into the swimming, maximising the oxygen intake. Which again, in closing stages of the final 100 could really make the difference. But again, it's Freya pulling away. Looking very strong. Just that 1 or 2 fly kicks straight up into her stroke. Lovely transition. Again, a relaxed kick. Pulling another 31.6 of a second pulled away from Paige there. And very strong in that first 200.
Yeah, really strong from Freya Colbert there. And she's looking in control of this one. Paige Madden doesn't really seem to have an answer here. to the power of Freya Colbert as they go through the 250 mark. We'll keep an eye on the splits here. Splits pretty similar there, just 0.1 of a second separating the two of them, but the gap is still 1.5 seconds. Freya Colbert holding that with Jana van Kooten in third, Leah Crisp in fourth position, just challenging now Leah Crisp, and also Mia Slavin in lane number 6 as well, going well next to Jana van Kooten. But Freya Colbert into the 300 mark. Looks like she is pulling away from Paige Madden here.
Oh, she's right on for a very strong swim here, potentially challenging that sub 310 if she can hold on to those low 32s or even a 31 in the final couple of 50s here. That's her first 32 point of the whole race. If she can just dip under in these final 250s, we could be seeing a very strong swim. So again, it's looking like a revenge from Paige a few weeks back. And Paige again, a little bit of a challenge there coming from Leah Crisp. She's fairly motoring. Now up in lane 6 as well. Got Mia, but it is looking strong for Freya. She's holding on to those 32 lows. Can she sprint into the wall here and challenge that sub 3, sub 410?
Yeah, she's absolutely dominated this one. Freya Colbert has swum this really, really well. Paige Madden had absolutely no answer to the power of Freya Colbert at the front of this field. The red cap of Freya Colbert is going to come home in front. We'll keep an eye on the clock. Can she dip under that 410 mark? I think she's well under it, 409.04. And that was a sensational swim, and that's bang on her entry time. Well, that's consistency for you. Freya Colbert taking that one. Big smile on the face of Freya Colbert. She is happy with that. She has gained her revenge over Paige Madden for that defeat at Bucks. Paige Madden in second position. Mia Slavin had a good second half of that 400 to take that ahead of Leah Crisp, and Alice C. Kissan was in third. But Freya Colbert, that was a great performance.
Oh, masterclass, real execution, held it together from the start to finish. She led the whole way and right on her entry time, which again, potentially her personal best. So it was an amazing performance there.
Of course, GB have had great success in the 400 up to the distance events with the likes of Rebecca Adlington, obviously, Jo Jackson, who's still the British record holder in that one, Jazz Carlin, of course, who came on the back of that. Is it a bit of gap in the market at the minute? Waiting for someone just to make that leap?
Yeah, well, I think Freya's really positioned herself well for that. She's 19 years of age, well, on paper here, could be 18, again, coming through in strong form, again, filling some big shoes there from years past. We'll see what future holds for her, but now we move on to the men's breaststroke. This is the junior final, 200 metre breaststroke.
The line-up for this one: Josh Martin, Joshua Sackery, Connor Mitchell, Callum Melville, Fraser Tetlow, Rogers Kringelis, Mika Van Blerk and Gregor Ross. Two City of Peterborough swimmers in 1 and 2. Josh Martin and Joshua Sackery. Got a couple from Warren Durbath, those familiar red caps that you can see there. Connor Mitchell and Mika Van Blerk. A couple from City of Glasgow in lane 6 and 8. And Callum Melville, Nova Centurion, leads them through that first 50. And one from Geary, Fraser Tetlow. Nice to see the Geary club represented, of course. Was Hannah Miley's club for many years.
It was. Strong background in breaststroke, as does Warrender, Craig Benson's club. Again, some really strong breaststroke pedigree. Chris Gilchrist. Again, with breaststroke, it's really long, lovely stroke there. Lane 4 and Callum Melville. Really need to maximise the length. You think to the top breaststrokers that have gone through the British ranks. Ross Murdoch, again, retired recently. Michael Jameson, really long, efficient strokes. You think in the breaststroke, really maximising the length. Such a high resistance stroke. You really need to take the opportunity and really that glide phase, the fastest phase of the stroke after the kick. And Callum's really executing that well. You can see the efficiency there, really powering through the water with every stroke.
Well, Callum Melville was he is the Scottish junior record holder. Be too old for that junior record just now, but there 1:45.93, a big lead over Conor Mitchell, Fraser Tetlow, who are in second and third respectively. But well, Callum Melville is away and clear here of the rest of the field. This is an incredible performance. 2:25.98 that he was in qualification. Just missing out on a place in that B final. But Callum Melville is bringing them home now. We'll just check that time. Is it going to be faster than the 2:25? How close can he get to the 2:20? 2:22.10 for Callum Melville. Excellent swim for the Nova swimmer. He takes it ahead of Fraser Tetlow, who finished very strongly in lane number 5. Fraser Tetlow in second position, and Conor Mitchell will take that third place, the Warrender swimmer, in 2:28.39. But there's no catching Callum Melville there. Away and clear ahead of the others in that field.
Really dominant race there. Really powerful. You could see the rate go through the roof at the end there, sprinting into the wall. Really brilliantly paced swim. And now we move on to the B final. We have here quite a few locals from Edinburgh and Stirling respectively. A few challenge from the Dutch as well.
Yeah, fastest from the heats qualification was Andrew Feenan from Limerick. He goes in lane 4. See Rory Dixon, Stirling Uni in lane number 1. Archie Goodburn from Edinburgh University in 2. William Ellington from Stirling in 3. Andrew Feenan, Limerick in 4. Liam Davis, Edinburgh University in 5. Bram Svetsloot from Netherlands in 6. Ross Young from Edinburgh University in 7. And Charles Grondo from Trust in lane number 8. So 3 swimmers, Jack, got under the 2:20. Ellington, Feenan and Davis. Goodburn and Svetsloot just on that 2:20 mark. Good start there from Svemso in lane number 6. I think he's going to lead them through.
Yeah, looks like it. Quite a fast start there in lane 6. 30.7, going out with fairly ferocious pace for the 200. See if he can hold it together. A handful of Edinburgh athletes as well. But Liam Davis did very well. Getting to a centre lane. Again, challenge from Ross Young. Up in lane 7, looking very long, relaxed. More of the sprint contingent from the likes of Archie Goodburn, especially short course. See if he can translate that into the 200 long, but it's actually coming up from Ross Young, Edinburgh University, up in lane 7. Closely followed by Bram.
Yeah, Ross Young taking that one only by 0.2 of a second at the halfway point. Liam Davis also close behind in Ellington. And Feenan and Goodburn absolutely together on 107.72. Well, it is still very, very close here. Ross Young now in lane number 7, beginning just to forge ahead here. And everyone else going to have to play catch up. Liam Davis in lane number 5, maybe coming through into second place. William Ellington in lane 3, possibly in third. And Ellington in second, actually. But Ross Young has got that little bit of an advantage there. And a very good turn again from Ross Young to take him clear.
Yeah, he's looking really strong. He had a very long stroke right the way up to that final 50, and he's powering through. The rate's going through the roof now. He's really sprinting into the wall. It's an excellent race. Challenge coming from lane 3. Got William Ellington. Again, those centre lanes still holding on. William Ellington doing very well there. Coming through with real purpose. Can Ross Young hold on? It's going to be very tight for third place. I think it's just...
Oh, Ross Young just takes it to 18.21. William Ellington, a very good second half of that race as well. He will take the silver medal position in that B final. Bram Svetsloot under the 220 in third position, 2:19.74. Got a good swim there from Ross Young.
Yeah, I think he'll be pleased with that for a 2:18, dipping under. I think his personal best of a 2:16, I think he'll be pretty happy with that, all things considered. Liam Davies again, just outside that 19, but then we move on to the A final.
Yeah, Luca Janssen, we see lead them out. The Netherlands swimmer, Dara Green from Ireland in second position. George Smith from Stirling Uni in lane 3. James Wilby will be very much the favourite for this one. The international meet record holder here, Evo Cruz. Close behind Wilby in qualification. Owen Corby from Ireland in lane 6. Greg Butler, who did the Bucks treble. 3 breaststroke victories at Bucks 2 weeks ago. And there is Usain Cook. Didn't set the heather on fire, Usain Cook, in the heats there. Just scraped into the final, but he'll be a danger in that outside lane.
Oh, he will. He's got the capability for sure with a personal best of 2:13. So again, not sure where he's at in the season wise, but I think he'll be having a right crack at Owen Corby of Ireland, his respective teammate. They go back and forth at the Irish Championships. Again, Ivo Kroos from Netherlands looks strong in those centre lanes. We'll see what form James Wilby has.
Yeah, Dara Green also in for Ireland as well in line number 2, so big Irish presence here, but James Wilby will be the favourite for this one.
Yeah, I think so.
He's been one of the world's top breaststrokers. Him and Adam Peaty have had great success at the international events, and James Wilby has kind of almost played second fiddle to Adam Peaty. He hasn't had the attention, obviously, of Peaty, the double Olympic champion, but Wilby has been there or thereabouts in the big internationals for, well, the last 5 or 6 years, really.
Yeah, well, I think it's actually his 100 breaststroke is higher ranked globally than his 200, believe it or not, just because of the calibre that Peaty brings. That kind of gets not as acknowledged as it should comparatively. He's down at a 58 low for that event, which is blisteringly quick, and he can very much back it up in the 200 with a 2:08.5 personal best, again coming through for Olympic Games 6th, European Championships, Commonwealth Games silver. Yeah, really strong contingent across the board, very experienced athlete, and he's going out strong, controlled, 30.0. See what he's got in the tank at this stage. Again, with British trials next month, we're not expecting close to his personal best, but I think we'll be expecting an improvement from the heat swims of a 2:14. At the current pace, he's really setting himself up well for a kind of a low teens, maybe even into the 12s potentially. We'll see what he's got in the tank, but strong first 100, 1:03.4.
Yeah, George Smith in second place, Evo Cruz in third position, Owen Corby in fourth, but will be controlling this one. Adam Peaty did swim in the heats of this 200. It was unusual to see him in the 200. We haven't seen him much over that distance in the big events. I'm sure he'll be back for the 50 and the 100 later on at these championships, but not taking his place in the final, and that he's left stage to these others, including James Wilby, who leads them through in 34.26 for that last 50, 1:37. A big lead now ahead of George Smith.
Yeah, he's going strong, holding it together well. Long stroke, talked about that glide, the power from the legs, really pushing forward with every stride. It's a good challenge coming through for second and third though. Can be very tight, I think. Neither side of Wilby. Again, actually closing on Wilby potentially here.
Yeah, it's very close as they come into the final stages. George Smith and Evo Cruz on either side of James Wilby, but Wilby is going to take this one, and he will finish in 2:12.98. He will take the Edinburgh International title ahead of Evo Cruz and Greg Butler coming through in lane 7. I didn't even spot Greg Butler finishing fast there, the English Commonwealth Games swimmer. But James Wilby in 2:12 there takes that one ahead of Cruz, and Butler who just get ahead of George Smith there in the closing stages.
Well, I think the whole field there taking chunks out of their heat swims. Yeah, it was very fast from Evo Cruz at the end. Came through well. And again, we move thick and fast. Looking forward to this one, 100 breaststroke. We have the junior final up first.
Yeah, and there's the lineup for the junior final as the 200 breaststrokers make their way out of the water. Another good performance from James Wilby. Looking forward to seeing him in those World Championship trials. He's got to be one of the favourites to make that World Championship team for the GB team, certainly in this event and in the 100 breaststroke as well, as you said, Jack.
Yeah, most definitely. I think a 2:12, most likely in season, as we say, unrested, untapered, I think is a very strong performance. I think he'll be looking to push that on, but we'll see what these young female athletes have to say in the 100, half the distance, much higher rate, higher pace.
So Michelin Stockebro, closest to us, Hovenstadens, Lucy Stoves, Dundee City Aquatic, Amy McLeod from City of Glasgow in 3, Charlotte Hardy, Millfield in 4, Anna Finlay from Derwentsside in 5, Ailey Robertson, South Ayrshire in 6, Perry Scobie, Stirling Swim in 7, and Ella McGeorge from Cooper, who had a good heat swim late this afternoon to qualify for this junior final. She goes in the outside lane in lane number 8.
Charlotte Hardy going very strongly there. Really good first 50, carrying into the wall, 34 low. Put in a great position to be dropping under her entry time of 1:13.5 from this morning. She can hold that together. Again, looking very purposeful off the wall, driving with the legs, looking great. We've got the challenge from Anna Finlay, still staying right on her shoulder.
Looks like Charlotte Hardy has got the advantage here. It's very close for second position. Anna Finlay just making inroads into Charlotte Hardy in the closing stages of this one, but it is going to be Charlotte Hardy will take this one with that green cap of Millfield in that centre lane. Charlotte Hardy into the wall in 1:12.25. Big improvement on the heat time by about a second and a half there. Anna Finlay in second, and it looks like it was Amy McLeod in third position, just winning that close contest ahead of Ella McGeorge and Ailey Robertson. You said Ella McGeorge had a big improvement to qualify for the final late this afternoon. She's improved that time again, the young swimmer from Cooper.
Very impressive short turnaround, backing that up. Good drop from Charlotte as well across the board. Now we move on to the B final.
So Ciara Fletcher from Nova Centurion in 1, Hannah Bowley from Repton in 2, Amy O'Doyle from Limerick goes in lane number 3, Anne Palmans from WVZ, the Netherlands, goes in lane 4. Another Netherlands swimmer, Anna van Droffelaar, in lane 5, and a trio of Edinburgh University swimmers, Alwyn Cook, Katie Goodburn and Anna Morgan in 6, 7 and 8.
Yeah. Rusheen's sister, Alwyn. To see her a good place in the final. See what they have to say to the international athletes in the middle lanes.
Well, 2 Dutch swimmers in the centre in 4 and 5, Palmans and Van Droffelaar, and they look like they are in contention for the lead, but going well is Katie Goodburn. We saw Archie Goodburn just a short time ago. Katie Goodburn's in the water now, and it's challenging for maybe second place as they come to this turn. It looks like it's Anna Palmans who's just going to lead them through.
Yeah, Anna Palmans doing well there. It's actually Anna van Droffelaar that's actually just pipped Katie on that first 50. Strong performance. Katie's still going well, but it is the 2 Dutch athletes coming through.
Yeah, it looks like it could be Anne Palmans in lane number 4, now being challenged by Anna van Droffelaar. It's Netherlands 1 and 2. I'm not sure if anyone is going to catch them, but the question is who is going to get the edge here as they come into the closing stages of this B final. It's going to be very close indeed between these 2. Maybe Anne Palmans just stretching for the wall and taking it in 1:11.03. Just ahead of her fellow Dutch swimmer, Anna van Droffelaar, 1:11.47, and Anna Morgan finished very, very well in the outside lane to just nick in there for third position, 1:11.62.
Yeah, and here we go, the A final. Really been looking forward to this. Cara Hanlon has been on electric form at this competition, as well as the last 2 prior at Bucks respectively, dipping under, well under the 67 with a 66.6. Backing that up again in Florida recently, last week, going a 66.9. Again, getting under the 107 is incredibly quick, and again, really timing it well with trials next month. Let's see what she's got in the tank. She looked really strong this morning.
Well, Janet Spinner from University of Bath goes in lane number 1. Ellie McCartney from Ireland in 2. Imogen Clark, what can she do? Commonwealth Games medalist in the 50. Cara Hanlon, the new Scottish record time under her belt very recently. Edinburgh University in lane number 4. Anastasia Gorbenko back in the water again. The Israeli swimmer. There's Niamh Coyne from Ireland, had a good heat swim under the 110. Anke Garums from TSZ goes in lane number 7. And it is Cornelia Pammer from Austria in lane number 8.
Gorbenko, let's see what she's got left in the tank. Had a busy programme. Imogen Clark potentially challenging down the first 50, but I think it will be Cara's race here, considering a 107.4 from the morning heats, blisteringly quick for a morning swim. Really set herself up to see if that's a performance to really put her in shout of another really quick swim. Let's see if anyone else can challenge.
What kind of time do you think Cara Hanlon would be looking for here? I mean, record-breaking form.
I think
she's going to want to continue that improvement.
I think if she can just back up, that sub 107, that will put in a great place. She won't be thinking about times or records. It'll be about executing the race, backing up the process, the performance that she's done over the last 3 weeks. Again, not the strongest starter, but Cara really does come through well. She's an electrically quick swimmer through the water, unbelievably fast, but as I predicted, Imogen Clark going out very strong to 50. Not surprising, 50 specialist. Of Gorbenko again challenging, but Cara Hanlon's looking great here, coming through strongly. As I said, not the best starter, but an excellent swimmer coming through into the wall, and she just pips Imogen Clark, 31.8. Can see what she has to say. Similar split to this morning, she's coming through strong. Imogen putting in a great shift here, so is Gorbenko. See what Cara Hanlon has to say.
Yeah, it's very close between the top 3 here. This is going to be a cracking finish here. Cara Hanlon in the centre, Imogen Clark on one side, Anastasia Gorbenko in the other side. It is very close indeed between these 3. It is all going to come down to the touch. What a race this is! Gorbenko going well and into the wall together. Gorbenko will take it ahead of Cara Hanlon, and Imogen Clark just in 3rd position. But my goodness, what a contest that was. And you said, Jack, I wonder what Anastasia Gorbenko's got left in the tank. Well, there's the answer.
Plenty. That was quite a performance, but Cara Hanlon going out so strong in the morning and backing up with another really quick swim. I think just really epitomises longevity in the sport, doing those personal best times well into her 20s, 25 years old, and personal best times, strong performances, backing them up week in, week out. I think she'll be looking really strong for British trials to come.
Yeah, and she's been around now for, well, about a decade or so.
Yep, give or take. And again,
she's
like
from
I said,
up north, wasn't she? She was from
Stornoway.
Stornoway?
Yep, she trained in a 15-metre pool. That's where she trained. So it just goes to show. It's we spoke about Buckie, we spoke about Orkney, Stornoway. It's just great to see the far-field athletes showing us how it's done.
Yeah, great performance there from Imogen Clark, Cara Hanlon and Anastasia Gorbenko. We're on to the final set of events tonight. It's the men's 200 metres individual medley, and this is the junior final. Adam Graham from Millfield, closest to us. Ben Twynham from Derventio in lane 2. Mike Merda, first of the 2 Israelis. He goes in 3. Yahav Halag in lane number 4. His Israeli teammate. Connor Cherrington from Millfield in lane number 5. Evan Davidson from Perth City in 6. Robert Burgess, City of Glasgow in 7. And Travis Davey from Dundee City Aquatics in 8. In fact, no Travis Davey taking the start there, my apologies. So no swimmer in lane number 8. Ben Twynham leads them through the butterfly leg. 1 length of each of the strokes here. Twynham, Halag and Graham, the top 3 after the fly.
Yeah, I mean the 200 IM, 400 IM, they're just real all-rounder events. Real technicians across these events, especially in the 200s. Really is very much a sprint. You're going stroke to stroke. you know, different muscle groups, different timings, different techniques. It's a real skill to be able to put together a well-executed individual 200 medley and see that flip, the cross turn, the different approaches to the wall there, making up time.
Halag, the only swimmer under the 1 minute mark as they go through the halfway point. They're onto the breaststroke, and you know, as we've seen in individual medley races in the past, the breaststroke can be a game changer. Ben Twynham starting to come back now on the leader. You have Halag. I think Halag is going to hold on to this one though as they go into that final turn. It's important to get ahead on the breaststrokes. As soon as you're on the freestyle, you've got a little bit of an advantage. You're on the faster stroke, so the faster you can get onto that freestyle, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of a challenge there from Ben. Twynham in the outside lane, lane 2. Again, they're actually breathing away from each other. It's still looking like Halag in that centre lane. Bit of a late challenge from lane 5, Connor. I think too little, too late. I think it's going to be Halag centre lane bringing us through to the finish.
Yeah, Halag now, he is being pressed by Ben Twynham, but I think Halag is going to take this one at the finish in a time of 2:07.94. Big improvement on the heat time that he swam this morning. Yoav Halag takes it ahead of Ben Twynham, who finishes on 2:08.58. Connor Cherrington in 2:10.10, ahead of the second Israeli swimmer, Mike Merber.
Yeah, I mean, the Israelis have gone strength to strength over the last 5-6 years. The program's really come on leaps and bounds. The kind of changing of the guard and really bringing through some really strong junior athletes. So it's great to see that being reflected in this event. But now we are the B final.
Yeah, Luca Janssen goes for Netherlands. First of the 3 Netherlands swimmers in this one. Arbadell Gonzalez Alvarez from Spain in 2. Jack Casson, who had a good heat swim, from Ireland. He goes in line 3. Tony Joe Trett Oliver from Stirling University in 4. Miguel Martinez Novoa from Spain in 5. Second Netherlands swimmer is Yannick Weiland. Goes in lane 6. James McFadden, English Commonwealth Games swimmer, goes in 7. And Luke Van Rooij and PSV Eindhoven goes in lane number 8. A lot of these swimmers might have expected to make their way into the A final.
Yeah, particularly James McFadden. He's got a personal best of a 1:59.6. Again, he was 7th at the Commonwealth Games, so I think potentially more to come, but we'll see where he's at training-wise, like we always say. But the strength is coming through from the centre lanes initially. Strong start there for the Stirling athlete, Tony, as well as the Miguel Martinez Nova of Spain. Lane 5 going very strong, as well as lane 2. Lane 2 does get the, oh, not quite, just beaten to the wall there.
2 Spanish swimmers ahead there, Novoa, Martinez Novoa and Gonzalez Alvarez. James McFadden well placed there in 3rd position. Jack Casson going well in lane number 3. It'll be interesting to see what kind of times the swimmers do in this B final. It was kind of almost a blanket finish in the seeded heats this morning. Very close contests.
James McFadden, strong backstroker coming through to take the lead there. It was a very quick split, 31.4, quickest of the field. Again, we spoke about him earlier with a fast personal best and potentially a bit of a slower heat swim, but he'll have plenty of challenge from the middle lanes from Miguel and Tony respectively, but James McFadden's looking strong here in the breaststroke, stretching away in control.
Yeah, really doing well here. We'll just keep an eye on this split on the breaststroke because he's stretched away from the others in the field. Tony Joe Trett Oliver coming back now in the closing stages of this one. But McFadden has the lead. Look at that split, 36.37 for him, 36.74 for Tony Joe Trett Oliver. And all the swimmers lower down have caught up the distance, but the swimmer at the front of the field is James McFadden. He is going to hopefully hold off the challenge by Novoa and Tony Joe Trett Oliver. But Tony Joe Trett Oliver trying to come back in the centre now, and he may well just have taken up the running here. It's McFadden and Oliver. McFadden will take it in 2:05.02. Novoa in second.
Miguel absolutely powering at the end there in a 28.9 final 50. really pushing through strongly at the end, but not quite enough. Again, running out of space, running out of meters, taking the pip there on Tony in the end. That was an impressive swim by Miguel in that final 50, but all-round good performance by Jamie McFadden. Then we move on to the final race of the evening, A final 200-metre individual medley.
Angus Allison leading them out. Stirling University swimmer Joe Litchfield from Loughborough University in lane 2. In lane 3, Andreas Vassaios, experienced Greek athlete. He goes in 3. Thomas Janssen had a good heat swim, the Netherlands swimmer. In 4, Duncan Scott, though, the British record holder. Commonwealth champion Duncan Scott goes in 5. Luke Ibbison in 6 for Loughborough University. Ben Harrison, another Loughborough swimmer, in lane 7. And Evan Jones from Stirling Uni, third Stirling University swimmer, has made it into this final in lane number 8. So 3 from Loughborough, 3 from Stirling, 1 from Greece and 1 from the Netherlands.
Yeah, Vassaios, again, one to watch. He's got real potential in the individual medley. He's a really strong short course swimmer, but the second fastest in the field. The world short course. 10th European Championships, 6th. Again, really powerful athlete around the walls. Really see you the maximum to 15 on those strokes from Vassaios. But again, Duncan Scott, the experience here, 156, 155 personal best time, I should say. One of the fastest in history in this event ever. So again, we'll see what form he's on. Not quite there in the freestyle, but I think it's all to play for here. But I would be expecting Duncan to come through to take this, but Thomas Janssen will have a few things to say about that, considering his performance from this morning.
Yeah, Thomas Janssen, the Dutch champion, performed a very good heat swim. He's capable of going faster than the 2:02.99 that he posted this morning. But so are a number of the swimmers in this field. Duncan Scott, of course, the Commonwealth Games gold medalist, the silver medalist in the Olympic Games in Tokyo in this event. And he has been so successful, Jack, in this 200 metres individual medley. Is this kind of rivaling the 200 freestyle for him as his #1 event?
Well, I would say so. Like I said, I think he's actually higher ranked in the global performances that is in history in the 200 medley. Again, one of the fastest ever in this event. 155.2, I believe, 155 low. Very, very strong, unbelievably quick. And that's just a real all-round technician across all 4 strokes. These athletes don't really have a true weak stroke, it's just their weaker stroke at this stage. Again, he's pulling through, really strong leg on the backstroke. Bit of a challenge from lane 2 as well, potentially there. Joe Litchfield, again, very good round the walls. Butterfly and backstroke. Joe's weakest leg, probably the breaststroke here, but Duncan has been improving his breaststroke leaps and bounds in the last few years. It's actually become one of his strongest strokes. ISL, he did some really quick performances in the individual events in breaststroke, believe it or not. Relays as well, but again, you would expect a challenge coming through from Thomas Janssen. His breaststroke looked very strong this morning, and case in point, he is powering through. But I think Duncan, with his freestyle calibre, will be able to hold it together in the final 50. That was a really strong swim there from Janssen to pull back 35.1 from Duncan.
Certainly was, and Andreas Vassaios as well has moved himself into 3rd position, but Duncan Scott and Thomas Janssen going absolutely head to head here. Duncan Scott would love to have this win under his belt here, but Thomas Janssen is not letting him have his own way here. Duncan Scott and Thomas Janssen coming into the closing stages now. Looks like Duncan Scott is going to get in for a victory here, the final victory of the night here on night 1 of this Edinburgh International Swim Meet 2023. Duncan Scott takes it in 2:01.01, just ahead of Thomas Janssen, who made him work all the way for that one, with Andreas Vassaios in 3rd position.
Ah, well, that's the final race of the evening, final round-up. What an evening it was. Some excellent swims across the board there. I think, well, for myself, some of the highlights being 200 freestyle for men, that was an excellent race. The
Tom Dean,
backstroke,
very good.
yeah, the backstroke women, that was really great to see a sub 60 point. Really strong performance. Yeah, the 100 breaststroke again, bit of a surprise there. Really strong 367s. I don't think we would have expected that. Seen Cara back up her strong performances from the last few weeks. What about yourself? A few highlights?
Yeah, absolutely. That 1500 was very good at the first event of the night. Daniel Whiffen, watch out for him in the major championships to come. And some great performances all the way through. I did like the sprints as well. Anna Hopkin looked very good in the 50-metre sprints for women. And of course James Wilby as well. We'll watch out for him in the British Championships. A great night of action. Duncan Scott finishing on a victory. It's good to see him back in the water again, all preparing for those championships to come this year. Big events to come, and big events to come here in Edinburgh. Please stay with us for the rest of the weekend. Session 4 of these championships will be happening at 8:30 in the morning local time here in the UK. That will be the heats for the second day of action. If you are joining us here on the live stream on the BBC, you will be here again for the finals tomorrow evening at 5:30 local time here in Edinburgh. So if you're joining us in the morning, or if you're joining us on the BBC in the evening, have a very good night. And from myself, Paul Noble, and from Jack as well, it's been good to see you, Jack, tonight. Well, hopefully you'll join us again later on this week. But it's been a good night of action, and it's good night from us.